Hey guys, it's kawaiisweetworld, and today we're making these 4th of July flag cookies. These cookies have a light buttery texture, and they would be perfect for a 4th of July party. So let's get started. First you're going to need 2 sticks of butter. Make sure these are at room temperature, and then just cream these until they're smooth. Now sift in 1½ cups of powdered sugar. Then just cream these together. And you'll essentially have like a buttercream frosting at this point. Now we're going to crack in 1 egg, and also add in 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract, and then just mix this together. Now in a separate bowl you'll need 2½ cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and go ahead and give this a whisk. Then we're just going to start adding our dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. I did this in 3 additions and then just mixed after each addition. And the dough is going to get pretty thick, so feel free to use your hands to mix in the rest of the flour. Now we're going to divide our dough into thirds. You can just eyeball it, but I'm using a scale here. It works out to about 240 grams per third. Now it's time to start coloring our dough. I'm using blue gel food coloring for the first third. And it helps to add a little bit of black food coloring to get a really intense blue color. And you should eventually get a nice Cookie Monster blue like this. Now I'm just going to repeat this with the red gel food coloring. And to stick with the Sesame Street theme, you should have a nice Elmo red. And you can go ahead and leave the last third uncolored. Now you're going to wrap these all in plastic wrap and stick them in the fridge for about ½ an hour. Once they come out of the fridge, it's time to roll them out. I'm using my hands just to soften it up a little bit. And I like to squeeze this out until it's about 10 inches. This makes it much easier once it comes time to roll it out. And I find it helps to use my hands to get it to a really nice rectangle. Once you finish rolling it out, it should be about 10 by 6 inches. Now I'm going to take a ruler and make a mark at 2½ inches and at 5 inches. Afterwards, I'm using a pizza cutter to cut the dough into strips. We're going to repeat this for our red dough as well. Except for the red dough, you want this to be 4½ inches by 10 inches. Then you want to cut it so you have a 2½ inch strip and 2 1-inch strips. Since the blue dough is going to be one thick log, I'm going to start out by pressing out all the air bubbles. Then I'm going to use my hands to start pulling and stretching it into a rectangle. And here I'm using a ruler and a spatula to give it really clean edges. You want this to be 10 inches by 1½ inches, and also 1 inch thick. And now it's finally time to assemble. We're going to start off by brushing the white 2½ inch piece with some water. This helps remove any excess flour, and it also helps the pieces stick together. Then I'm going to stack the red 2½ inch piece on top, and go ahead and press it down. Now I'm going to brush on some more water, and add the other 2½ inch white piece and press it down. Then more water, and I'm adding on the blue rectangle. Next is the red 1 inch piece, and then the white 1 inch piece, and then finally top it off with the last red 1 inch piece. Then press everything together really well and stick it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. And now for the best part, take a sharp knife and start slicing up your cookies. And you can see how cool these come out. They look just like the American flag. And after you've cut them, you can always trim them up like I am here. Once you've cut them all, go ahead and place them on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper or a silpat. Then you want to place these in the fridge for about 15 minutes before you bake them. This helps them keep their shape while they bake. Then just bake at 350 for about 7 to 8 minutes. These 4th of July cookies have a light buttery texture, and they would be perfect for a 4th of July party. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share your creations with me on Facebook or on my Instagram kawaiisweeteats with the hashtag kawaiisweetworld, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone!